I thank God that I didn't lose my faith while in university. People at different times told me that I was serious about God then because I had not gotten admission yet. And that when I get into the university, I would no more be serious about my work with God and would fall to practicing the sinful lifestyles common in the university environment. Their premise being that I'm sharing my academic testimony and I title it Finding Purpose in God's Path. I'm thanking God for His help and mercy in my academics. It's been a long ride, but God has been faithful, and today I am a degree holder in education. I had picked some interest in science and reading while growing up, so I aim to be a medical doctor, as I believe that the profession would help me interact with people individually and care for them too. I had preferred medicine actually. Having good grades wasn't a challenge for me, as I found my science subjects really interesting. After secondary school, the next target was gaining admission into a tertiary institution to study my dream profession. For me, I didn't know that this would be the beginning of a phase and season of encounters with God. Brethren, within a space of 5 years after secondary school exams, because of pursuing admission in medicine, I had written UTME 6 times. That is what we call JAM. I had written it 6 times and I had done A-level programs twice within that space. These years were filled with high expectations with no results at the end. I was stretched, disappointed, lost faith at some point, gained it back temporarily, and have it washed back again. I was heartbroken several times, and I not carried this my heartbreak alone. Or my parents too, we were all inside it. I was depressed at some points. With all the deferred hope, my heart got sick. I couldn't imagine that gaining admission into tertiary institution would be so stressful and difficult and dragged for someone like me that all my teachers, everybody, they had expectations. As time kept passing, I couldn't believe it either. I was always so close to being admitted to study my dream course, and each time, nothing would work out in the end. So it was in 2019, after my second A-level program, that my dad suggested that I switch to education as a course, since my score was 2 points lower than the cutoff score for medicine and surgery. And at this point, I felt shattered. For context, both of my parents are teachers, and they had drummed into my head repeatedly while growing up that I shouldn't even think of or attempt being a teacher. That is, I should not even imagine practicing education. Their reasons being that teachers were not well paid and they were not regarded in the society. So when my dad said I'll be switching to education that day, I cried. Where I was, the person asked me why I crying. I just said that I'm feeling headache. I could not explain. I would also spend some time worshiping God and reading my Bible. Reading is one of my hobbies actually. I also began to pray a lot more because I was desperately in need of change. There are so many experiences I had in this time. During one of those years, specifically between 2016 and 2018, I got real practical lessons on leadership and the spiritual realm. I also acquired some handy skills like sewing and making of confectionaries, and discovered my identity in God. When I finally got admitted, I was more developed and equipped mentally to handle the demands of real life, and this time with a sense of purpose. At the beginning of my final year, I began to feel discontented and sad that I was reading education in school. I began to wonder about my purpose and why I had to be in a faculty with so many students. For context, Faculty of Education can pass for a school on its own. It's so big. I wasn't really steady in God's lighthouse then. I was trying to be consistent, but was slightly held back by a position I was handling where I worshipped before. One of those days, when I was worried and all that, I shared my concerns with a coursemate of mine who was a Christian, and he encouraged me by telling me that God placed me there to shine as light. Some months later, I saw the Mount Zion movie production titled Recitation. After watching this movie, I cried. and then had this deep peace and contentment settled in my heart. I felt I had discovered God's purpose in becoming a teacher, that is, practicing the profession, and all the doubts, questions embedded in my heart flew away. I understood that I could still fulfill that desire of interacting with people and caring about their well-being, this time with young ones and the different children who will be under my care. And I won't just be caring for them, I would also have ample opportunities to teach them academics and also God's word. This brought joy to my heart, and I found new strength to keep pushing. Now, I have not just studied education as a course, but I've also been certified as a teacher. To God be the glory. Finally, on my academic journey, I thank God that I didn't lose my faith while in university. People at different times told me that I was serious about God then because I had not gotten admission yet, and that when I get into the university, I would no more be serious about my work with God and would fall to practicing the sinful lifestyles common in the university environment. Their premise being that they had seen other females going down that path to become everything else except being truly devoted Christians after university. It seemed the university spoiled them. I would often go to my room and cry to God after hearing such statements from these people, and I'll ask God to hold me and not let me stray. Thankfully, He heard this heart cry of mine. Maybe I would have ended up with that part of the negative comments and prophecy getting fulfilled, because though I was still active in religious activities and trying to serve God, there had begun to be some areas of compromise in my life at some points in school, especially in the matter of entering into an untimely romantic relationship, etc., including dressing self. I was compromising. But being in God's Lighthouse family, which I started attending during my penultimate year to final year, and staying accountable, has helped me live in purity, develop stronger faith muscles and spiritual stamina. And today, I can boldly say that rather than going astray or becoming a less serious Christian, I have become a more committed one with deepened convictions and better understanding of God's ways. I've learned to surrender my life and will to the Lord and let Him have His way, and also learned how to be more pleasing to Him through faithful obedience. Brethren, university did not spoil me, but God kept me and helped me to live a godly and exemplary life to the end. It ended in praise, and I say, may the Lord take all the glory. Truly, it's not of him that wills or runs, but it's of God who shows mercy. My whole life is a testimony of how intentional God is of every creation of His.
Thanks for watching. For more stories of God's transforming power as well as all the life-changing content, do check out the links in the description. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, turn on your notification bell, and share. God bless you.